Sitting here, just got out of work. It's 6 p.m. Worked a solid 8 hours today. In person in the office. It's a long ass commute for me. But it's good, it's good to interact with employees. With coworkers. It's like talking to people. It's good to connect. Good to get out of the house. Although I do prefer working from home. I feel like I get more shit done anyways. Not to mention you save about 2 to 2.5 hours of commute time, at least from where I'm coming. And you can get a lot more done during that time. But today, just after work here, just kind of reflecting. Just wanted to sort of take a step back, look at the past 3 years of what I've done since leaving college, especially, we're just slightly past that 3-year anniversary at this point, but I just kind of reflect what I've learned, and I think the important key factor above all that I would take away from my time in the workforce, in the real world, since college. So I started, my first gig was an outdoor job for a golf company, actually. Worked there 6 months, got paid absolute dog shit, but it was a great group of people, great group of coworkers, younger people. We enjoyed ourselves. We had a blast. Everyone at the company was fantastic. Probably much better than I was at that point, to be honest, anyways, in terms of just overall connecting with people and just, I definitely worked hard, but I definitely, after a few months realized, like, Jesus, this is not what I want to do. But as I was coming out of college, I was really struggling to figure out exactly what I wanted to do, and I honestly let my ego take over and get the best of me. I had a few internships, and I didn't see any sort of value. I didn't see the point of anything in business. So I caddied for nearly a decade, and I kind of used that to my advantage to land this little job out of school. And I just gave it a shot, but I just kind of went in blind. Just, had really, to be honest with you, no direction. Didn't really have any valuable advice with me. And that's nothing on those who supported me, like my parents along the way. My parents just wanted me to do what I wanted to do, which is, at the end of the day, pretty much exactly what you want out of parents and someone pushing you. But yeah, I didn't have any sort of concept of making money, the value of earning a high salary, the industries in which you could earn a high salary. So I just jumped into this career, and it lasted 6 months. I took a little month break in between applying to jobs. I landed another job at a building firm, or a building design firm. Once again, fantastic company, fantastic people. That's really something that I'm learning, more than anything now, is that just most people are just great people. Most people are great to work with. Maybe you hold yourself to a different standard than someone else, but like, you should just really never take them for granted. You should never consider yourself better than them, let your ego get the best of you. Like just because you have strength in one thing, you're in great shape, or you work out, or you pride yourself on work ethic. That doesn't mean, just because someone else doesn't have those same values and hold themselves to that same exact standard, that doesn't mean that like you should look down on someone like that. Because chances are, and was the case for me, chances are those people are extremely strong in other areas of life that you might suck at, and that is exactly what I'd say in my 3 years of experience. Like, you know, just because I'm in great shape, like there were so many lacking aspects of my life, my personality, as I entered the workforce, as compared to some of my coworkers. You know, like even like, you know, someone who's maybe not in the best shape doesn't really take themselves as seriously. Like I had so many coworkers that I can think of that excelled far superior than I was at other probably more important aspects of life, like connecting with people and actually giving a shit about others, and like, you know, not being selfish and arrogant like I think I have kind of been over that time. So that's just something to consider along the way as well. Anyways, with that, this now building design firm, I assisted with our project management. You know, it was a good experience overall, but at the end of the day, I knew pretty quickly into the role. I kind of shielded myself from how I actually felt for a while, but I'd say 6 months to a year in, I knew this wasn't the long-term plan, the long-term option. I mean, I was basically just punching numbers. I was meeting with people far more intelligent than me, who had far greater issues than the issues I was bringing up, and it was rough at a certain point when it just became so repetitive, and I was just punching numbers monthly, the same process every time. You know, I was paid decent. I was paid probably higher than I should have been, to be honest with you. But, yeah, it was just, you know, there wasn't really a clear direction, a career path that I saw myself going. There was just nothing really to offer. And again, great firm. The people there were fantastic, far superior than I was at the time, at least, in just, you know, being a great employee and being someone that you want to work with and you want to trust with some major projects within your company in your hands. And I worked hard at certain times, but to be honest with you, what I'm learning now is, like, you can have that work ethic all you want. Like, if it's not something that you can get into a rhythm with, that you could sort of fall in love with, even if it's something you don't like, but if you can fall in love with the process, like, it is, at least for me, it is so hard to actually lock in and give a shit. And, you know, I did what I had to do. I did the job. I started on some certain projects, but I just had absolutely zero passion. And many of the times, the processes that I put in place were just temporary. And many of the projects I started just ended quickly, in a quick manner. I just quickly fell out in love. I tried to get in the whole analytics, AI aspect, but Jesus, I mean, within weeks, within days even, I was just I felt brain dead with that stuff. I just did not have any interest in it. And, you know, I sort of chased that because that's such a high income skill in today's age. But again, like, if you're not going to actually love that stuff, if that's not going to be something that you're actually interested in, like, there's just no way you're going to have the passion, the drive, and be able to compete and work hard with people who actually love that stuff. So anyways, ended my time with that job. It was a tough decision because, again, my boss was fantastic. She was amazing. Coworkers were great. But I just know, like, you got to make some tough decisions in life. It was a tough moment. my boss was completely understanding, which I was a little surprised about. But yeah, again, just another great experience and learning example. And yeah, that leads me to my current role, which I've been in for about a year, and that's in financial sales. And I would say, it's not particularly my passion. I do love what I do here, which I'll get to. Financial sales, finance, that's not like, I enjoyed seeing my portfolio go up, no question. But to be honest with you, I don't love reading the news. I'm not in love with stocks or consistently watching the market and making trades. It's not, I like it, but it's absolutely far from something that I fall in love with and be able to just, do on a daily basis. So yeah, I'm currently at this financial services firm, working towards a much higher and competitive sales role. My job right now consists most of customer service, also a lot of sales work. The pay isn't fantastic, but I'm working towards a position where my income can be very significant. But I finally realized, and I finally fallen in love with the process and something different. And I'd say that process is geared around helping people. It's geared around competition. It's geared around finding clients the best solution possible. And it's geared around becoming better each day and making something out of myself, and eventually working as hard as possible and combining all of those aspects so that I can be compensated based on my work, which is sales. There's commission, compensation. We have a base salary, but there's also significant commission down the line, which I'm not earning now. But again, I'm working towards that and will be earning that in the near future. But I want to say that I've completely fallen in love with the process. We make phone calls. We have a somewhat large team. Our numbers are based on the amount of calls that we take and the amount of time that we're on the phone. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been doing great. I've been kind of kicking ass. I've been showing up every single day. I'm one of the leaders on the leaderboard of those metrics every single day, and it's because I have fallen in love with the process. I've fallen in love with competition. I've fallen in love with helping people, with delivering solutions to them, and for being compensated based on the work that I put in. And I've fallen in love with that process. So overall, with this video, I'm really just speaking to people out there who may not have a process that they've fallen in love with. And I'm just letting you know that, I've been out of school for 3 years. I've been in the real world for 3 years. I've been in 3 different jobs. And sometimes it just takes some time to figure it out. It takes some time. I obviously wish I could go back and just go hop right into financial services, but sometimes you just need to learn along the way. You need to cross shit off the list before you figure out exactly what you want to do. And I really, I equate this, it's what I do with the sales job. Like I said, it's competitive. It's helping people. It's becoming better. It's taking in more knowledge. It's becoming better at sales. It's becoming better at talking to people each day, learning more efficient processes along the way. And it's so funny because, when you take a step back and look at it from a higher angle, that's exactly what the gym is. That's exactly what fitness is. Whether you'd like to admit it or not, competition is key in fitness. Why do you join the gym? Come on. You join the gym because you want to look better. You want to, attract more women. You want to gain more respect from your peers. You, again, want to look better. You want to perform better. But it's mainly about that, that social competition. You want to be better than, your friends. You want to be better than your roommates. So that plays into it. Then it's consistency. It's the process. It's doing the shit. It's doing it every day. It's falling in love with the gym. It's falling in love with lifting. It's falling in love with dieting. It's learning along the way. It's, it's trial and error. It's learning different processes. It's taking in different information from people who've had success before. It's exactly like sales. Sales in the gym are extremely similar. Extremely similar. Fitness in the gym, extremely similar. When I step into the gym, my goal is to just maintain at the very worst. My goal is to become better. My goal is to look better, become stronger, look better than my peers, so that I can have an advantage in life. That's exactly why I started in the fucking gym in the first place. I wasn't happy with where I was. I wasn't happy with the man in the mirror. Sales is the same way. It's the exact same way. And now that I'm starting to try to pursue like a career in fit, as I said, I love this financial role. I love this job. Love the people. I see myself doing this or something similar for the rest of my life. But the industry isn't my passion. It's not. I'm not in love with investing. I'm not in love with it. I think it's great. It's essential. Investing your money, investing in yourself is essential. But it's not something that I'm in love with. What I'm in love with is, again, that competitive nature, that process that we use every day, getting better every fucking day. Every day. So again, anyone out there, you have no idea what the hell you want to do, just think about something in your life that you're in love with right now in terms of a process. It's not necessarily about the industry, it's about the role. It's about what you do in the role. Like if I were working analytics at this company, I might hate the job. I might hate the company. If I were in a sales position at that golf company I worked for, or the design firm, I might have loved it. I might have loved it there. It's not always about the industry, it's about what you're doing in the role. And you see, when you combine the two, that's when you get just these superheroes, these major fitness accounts, these people with millions of followers who have, started from absolutely nothing, who have made millions of dollars. That's where you get, your big CEOs, your Jeff Bezos, your Elon Musk. When you combine the passion with the process, it takes off. And, that's now what I'm trying to do. And obviously when, most people's passions are not something that they can monetize. And fitness, while you can monetize it, let's be honest, it's hard as shit. We're talking about probably thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people out there who are trying to be fitness coaches, trying to be fitness influencers, trying to make money doing that. It is, cutthroat. Most people are passionate about sports, growing up. No one makes it. I know a couple guys from high school who I'm not friends with who are professional athletes. But, everyone grows up, I want to be a football player. I want to be, in the NBA. I want to be in the NHL. Like, shit doesn't happen. Never does. Put your head down, you work hard as hell. If you don't have the right mentorship, if you don't have the right genetics, if you don't care enough, it's hard to care enough when you're, 10 to 18 years old. It's hard to care enough about something other than, maybe drinking in the woods or like getting some girls. Like, if you don't fall in love with something, if you don't have the right mentorship, if you don't have the right physical attributes and genetics, in the most case, you're not making it in sports. You're not making it in Hollywood. You're not making it as a singer or whatever. And I'd say fitness is, if that's A tier, sports and celebrities, fitness has got to be right below in that B tier, where it's just, it's cutthroat, hard as shit. If you don't love it, you're never going to make it. No chance. Absolutely no chance. It's way too much of a niche. It's way too, I don't really know the word I'm trying to think of. It's way too narrow. Whereas like this financial industry, I'd say that's like probably like within like C or D tier, like probably more like D, where like basically anyone can do it if you just get these licenses, if you have maybe some connections. Like fitness, no way. Absolutely not. And guess what? The funny thing is, the tiers at the top, that A, B, those tiers, the fitness, the sports, the celebrities, it's really funny because, maybe you throw entrepreneurship in B as well, and like anything, maybe starting an AI company or, I don't know, some random shit. But it's really funny because those tiers absolutely earn the most money by a fucking mile once you've already made it. But the funny thing is, the hard part about it is the start, because at the start you make nothing. And that's why people fail. That's why people don't make it. That's why it's scary as shit. That's why people don't have confidence in it. And guess what? That's why if you don't love it and you don't want to work on it every fucking day, if you don't want to pursue it every day, like your life's on the line, if it's not something you're going to bed thinking about, then no shit. There is absolutely no way you're going to make it. Because you have to eat the shit. You got to sit there and realize, well, your other friends, they're making good salaries, maybe doing like finance or some sort of engineering. They're making good salaries. You're sitting there on the sideline. You're working your ass off too, but you're not seeing any results because no one gives a shit about you, because you're one of thousands of random dudes or females who are trying to make it as a fitness coach, fitness influencer. Like, that's exactly it. Exactly it. If you don't love it, if it's not your passion, you got no shot. Absolutely no shot. And, with the athletes, we won't even get into that. Obviously, a lot of luck, maybe not luck, but genetic luck factors into that. But again, like if we're talking about athletes or celebrities, we're talking about people who have been working on their skills, working on their talents for since they were 10 years old. So, while it looks, they're making millions of dollars at age 23, yeah, that looks great. But let's be honest, they've been grinding their ass off since they were 10, since they were 12. And while you were out in the woods drinking, while you were chasing girls in high school, these kids were working their ass off. They were working their tail off. They missed high school. They didn't get to experience maybe the social aspect like you did, but because they were grinding their ass off like they were professional athletes already. And that's why they're, many of them are in the position they're in, and most of them are absolutely genetically gifted, but there are also a lot out there. Certainly wouldn't be professional athletes had they not put in the work that they put in. So, yeah, anyways, overall, the premise of this video, man, is to just find a process you love and go for it. I think it's so important. You know, all of us have passions in life. All of us have passions. Mine's fitness. Mine's the gym. Mine's dieting. We all have fucking passions, man. Every single one of us. I'd say probably 95 to 99% of our passions are in something that we aren't currently doing for work. And that is because these passions that we have offer no monetary value whatsoever unless you are at the very fucking peak of that industry. So the only way to get to that peak is to combine process with passion. And I urge you, and I urge anyone listening, to find that process. You gotta find that process. For me, it's competitiveness. I've realized over the few years I'm competitive as shit. So competitive, hyper competitive. I'd say it's number one is competitiveness. Number two is helping people and finding solutions for them. And number three is becoming better each day, gaining more status, and just feeling better about myself through my work. So yeah, that's it. Find your fucking purpose through finding process and shit. If you have the balls, combine that with your passion, and you might just have a chance.